So for you guys that do know me, my name's Chirag, and for those of you that don't, of course, Chirag, born and raised LA, stayed here for most of my life, lived about 7, 8, 9 months in China, so lived abroad for some time, and then also lived in Chicago right after college, worked in the nonprofit sector, and then got into the media and marketing world. I've been doing that for nearly 13 years, give or take, and kind of fell in love with it and ended up launching Mission Matters alongside Adam Torres, who should be joining us pretty soon here. And started off by building a book publishing company. The book publishing company evolved and became a media brand, and then eventually a podcast. And we recorded nearly 5,000 podcast episodes in a wide variety of shows. So we own, I think, about 12 different shows that we oversee and also have a podcast agency. So we helped launch over 20 podcasts in a wide variety of networks and help them manage it pretty consistently. And so that's pretty much me in a nutshell. And so maybe we could just go down the row, make it easy. So Philip, why don't we just start off with you? Maybe share a little bit about your background and share some insights about what you're up to as well.
Well, I am in the new book that's coming out in June, and my focus right now is what I call life mission matters. I've spent a very successful career in business, working as a fixer for different companies, helping get departments back on track. And then about 10 years ago, I said, well, what if I really applied my life mission, which is about fixing fractured families, and had done many, citywide events and things as a business professional on my dime, working with organizations, and just really wanted to get face to face with the issues that people are dealing with. So I made the shift, jumped out of the corporate world, landed on my feet with zero income, and have dedicated the last 10 years of my life to creating some significant solutions for families that are struggling, specifically on probation and parole in non-metro communities. And that's part of that story is living out my life mission. And that's what I do as a life today.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Why don't we go down the road? Jose, maybe introduce yourself and share some insights about yourself.
Hey guys, good afternoon. My name is Jose. I am currently a mortgage lender. I was born in El Salvador. I came here when I was 10 years old as part of an amnesty program. My background is in banking, financial services, and wealth management. And since 2019, I solely focus in mortgage lending, specializing in the luxury market and complex transactions. I'm a big into philanthropy. I volunteer and sit on a lot of boards, and I'm a big fan of LA. That's it for me right now.
Arnold, feel free to share your.
Yeah, hi everybody. I'm Arnold Volker. I own a manufacturing company, but been primarily kind of a serial entrepreneur, helping people with inventions and things like that. And so I started a company, Inventor U, that's kind of an inventor activator or coach, helping others kind of with their inventions or changing things in their lives, even because I do believe everybody's an inventor. And so I've been starting that and enjoying that. I am in the latest book that's coming out, and the chapter's kind of just talking about how young inventors change the world, and just kind of a personal story of how my son came up with an invention that we manufacture that has really kept us open. So you never know where ideas and things come from. So that's kind of what I'm passionate about.
Sure, I'll help you out here. I'll just go. My name is Jessie Williams. I'm an accountant, a tax CPA, several names, business coach in the making. I think I'm in the latest book that's coming out. I don't know. My brain is a fog right now because I am sitting in front of my computer wrapping up some returns. And yeah, so for me, my part in the book was mainly on coaching and how mentorship, coaching, and just others just pointing me in the right direction has really helped me personally, my career choices, the growth that I've had, both career and personal, just mainly from others just being awesome, and just me, whether it's formal hiring coaches. I literally have a coach for everything because I do believe if you want to learn something pretty fast and efficiently and effectively, the best thing to do is hire a coach and, just invest in yourself and grow in that field. Or you could, kind of go back to school and waste money. So I talk about coaching and how that has impacted myself and others around me, and how some coaches are still friends to this day. And that is mainly what the book is about. That's my passion. It's just giving back to others and hope that I can be a great coach to others the way how others have been coached to me.
I'm next. My name is Demetra Bakas. I'm in Chicago. I have lived in Chicago my entire life, but have very deep Greek roots, which says a lot about me already. My background is a year out of college. I got schmoozed into the recruiting industry. I've worked for the largest global recruiting firms globally, one of the more well-known Chicago-based firms, and then I launched my own firm, Madison Street Search, in 2018. I am a part of the Business Leaders Volume 6 book that's coming out now, and my passion has really come into how to be successful in the recruiting industry. I talk a lot about the ins and outs without dogging it too badly because it's pretty rough to survive. But my hope is that I'm able to inspire an entrepreneur. You know, I come from nothing special, but by doing the right thing and being true to yourself and doing right by your product, which in my case is people, you can be very, very, very successful.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jim Downs, and I own and run a accounting services firm in Newport Beach, California. And our firm is unique in that we practice what we call future-focused accounting. And so most accounting, as you think of it, is really a historian documenting what's happened in the past. But we like to work with our clients to help them understand what their numbers are saying that they should do different in the future. And so I was very frustrated at one point in my career. I was a CPA, and I felt like I really didn't know too much about what was going on in my clients' businesses. So I started thinking about, how we could use accounting to make it more of a strategic tool to help them grow versus something they just did to file their tax returns. So I started this firm in 2019, and we're working today with about 40 companies and having a blast. And I'm excited to be part of the book.
All right, I guess I'll go next. So first off, just really excited to have all the authors here today and excited to make some announcements for what we have coming up and plan next. And do I see Jeff's in the room, Chirag? Are we bringing Jeff up or is he being shy? Jeff's not shy. What's
Being
going on?
shy.
Oh, really? Okay, fine, fine. So that being said, a bunch of stuff planned for this next upcoming book release. So for the authors in the upcoming book, I believe everybody should have received an email that'll be talking about. So we're gonna do these pretty big Facebook lives, or I should say they're gonna stream live actually across multiple platforms. So it'll stream across Facebook, it'll stream across LinkedIn, it will also stream across our different Facebook channels as well, and also YouTube. So I know we'll be finalizing building that out for all the authors, and you'll be receiving emails based depending on which date that you signed up for. So we'll be building all those out, and I think those should be to you by Monday or Tuesday at the latest. So if you just happen to have not responded to that email yet or have not gotten it for whatever reason or signed up for a spot, then definitely let Chirag or Jeff know so that we can get your name on there so that you definitely have the links to go live. And that's going to be a lot of fun. We've been really reinvesting into the author community and just making sure to kind of just bring everybody together tighter because we're spread across the country. We do have some international authors as well. And the idea is how do we connect the community so that everybody can obviously network, but also do business with each other. I mean, we've seen it happen in the past, and we're trying to help everybody connect so they can continue to do business with each other and just grow those relationships. Really, one of the things that I would recommend doing is especially I noticed there's a couple of first timers on this Clubhouse platform. So Jim, Dimitra, Philip, it looks like when you have that little, I think that little emoji next to your picture, I think that means it's your first time logging in. What I recommend, and for everybody else, if you haven't already, is just to kind of go through one by one. If you click on everybody's picture, and then there's a little follow button, and that'll let you follow the authors there. Because another thing that we'll be rolling out as well is on the Clubhouse platform to connect the authors, it's a number one, it's a good thing to do because everybody gets to connect. But number two is to start thinking about it as a platform that you're able to leverage as well. So in the past, we've had made plans on allowing different authors to use our channels. We do all the marketing around this, of course, but the idea is if you have a topic maybe that you want to host or something that you want to talk about specifically, that will support you in that promotion and in getting your word out there. So obviously, we do all we can on our end, but the biggest success when it comes to these book launches, just in general, it comes from the community. Like the best ideas as you start kind of going through this path, and as the launch happens and more things happen, if you have feedback, if you have events that you want to do, if you have ideas, like we love to hear them, because that's how we get better as a company. That's how we get better in supporting you and each other, really. And that's where we're really doubling down on our investment into the community and just making sure that we do and are true to our mission of really amplifying your stories and making sure that we get your names out there as far as we possibly can. So the first step will be, of course, we're doing the launch part of it. We'll be doing these live book launches, or book launches as we call it. And then the next part is all the authors will be receiving an invite as well to come on the show. So we'll be doing a series of podcast interviews with all of the authors. So I know some of the authors have been on the show so far. Some of them have not, but we'll be doing one-on-one interviews, and more to come on that. And we'll be doing deep dives into your writing, and also as much as you care to share about your business. So these are going to be like really, really cool pieces just to kind of showcase your work, to showcase why you were, of course, brought into the book as an author. And I think it's going to be just really a lot of fun, actually. And getting into the overall community, the whole idea is that it doesn't matter what book you're in or things like that. The idea is that now as a community, I think we're, Chirag, correct me if I'm wrong, are we a little over 200 now strong, I believe? Is that right?
Yeah, just around 200 actually.
Wow.
So
So yeah.
we, yeah, there's a lot of books that are in the pipeline. There's a lot of
Yeah.
books that have launched. There's the cool thing is we got some of our older authors I think in here too, or
That's
I think one or
awesome.
so.
And
It's pretty
that's
broad.
awesome. So that just shows that as we keep on building, as we keep on releasing more books, as we keep on, like, once upon a time we were thinking, before COVID hit, we were looking at in-person events and just other ways to connect everyone. So the idea is it doesn't matter if you were in Mission Matters Volume 1 or Mission Matters Volume 6, or it doesn't matter. Like, the idea is how do we bring everybody together, because this is your network. I know in college I was in a fraternity, and the way I look at it is like sometimes shared experience kind of unites people. I still, talk to my fraternity brothers to this day, and the way I look at it is that this Mission Matters community are kind of going through this process and being published and bound together in a way in terms of being published. I think it unites us all, and it's going to be pretty fun to see, as even time goes on and we look back and we're like, wow, look at that. I think it's gonna be something that we will all be proud to have been a part of. And really, when it comes to the message of putting out great content that's going to pay it forward for future generations, I think we'll just keep on building on that mission. So that's the main mission, or the main kind of information that I wanted to get out there. All right, so I guess next part of this is really, as I don't want to hog, like, this is, think of it, fireside chat side, like wise, like this is your opportunity to connect with the authors, to talk about and to have conversation and to do that. So I guess I just open this up to the floor and to the audience, like what's on people's mind. It could be entrepreneurship, it could be tips, it could be like, this is more interactive versus it like interview style, if that makes sense. And don't be shy. Come on. Who's gonna be first?
I like to learn more about Jim's idea of going forward. I work with, so I did from 2008 until about 2019. I worked as a private banker in a wealth management division here in Beverly Hills, and I've seen a lot of tax returns, and I love what he's saying about going forward because important to be able to coach and manage families and business owners into the future, because I think, and Jim, you might agree with this, they resisted a lot, right? They want to kind of do what they always do, and I know I saw it in when I was doing that type of work. Planning, takes effort with some of these families. So I'd like to hear more about your ideas around that.
Well, it's who was speaking? I'm sorry. Was that Arnold or Jose?
Jose.
Jose. Yes, Jose. So first of all, let me just say that most entrepreneurs don't want to spend any money on accounting. They want to spend as little as possible because they don't see the value of having good accounting. But without great accounting, you really don't know where you are. And so, we just signed up a client as an example, and he told me last week, "Hey, Jim, I either made $100,000 last year or I lost $100,000. I'm not really sure which how I did."
Yeah, here's a
So
shoebox, right? Here's a shoebox. You
yeah,
figure it
because
out.
they want to just not spend any money on accounting because they're going to spend money on sales or marketing or other things. But accounting is important because it really tells you how you're doing, and there's a lot of data in your accounting that you can use to improve your business and do better in the future. And that's kind of our whole mantra, and the thing that we try to bring to our clients is learn from the data what's working and not working, and set a path for the future that will improve the business performance. So you may be spending a lot of money on sales and marketing that isn't working, for example, and you're not by not taking action and looking at that data to run your business, then you're going to be wasting money going forward and not correcting the problem. So I was always frustrated as a CPA because I would get all done with my work, and just like you said about tax returns, the end point was to deliver the tax return or the financial statement for the prior year, and we never talked about how the company could do better in the next year. And so
Mhm.
that was, I thought, where the value would really be to the business owner, is getting somebody to help them with their business by using their numbers to, you know, tell the tale of how they're doing today and maybe how they could do better in the future.
Yeah, and I think what's interesting is as it correlates to what I do, right? I do a lot of what's called non-QM loans, non-qualified mortgages. These are loans for primarily business owners that don't have enough income reflected in their tax returns to qualify for a loan, but they want a loan, they want a mortgage loan. And so we're using bank statement loans, we're using P&L loans. So they are actually making the money. That's how we're proving them anyways, because we're seeing the money go into their bank statements. But guess what? Now they're paying points just to get that loan done. They're paying a higher interest rate, when if they had just organized a tax return in the proper way,
Yeah.
they could have just qualified conventionally very easily.
Well,
Hmm.
most of our referral, the way we get clients is mainly through banks, where they're, just like you just said, they're trying to get a client approved for a loan, but the financial statements show that they don't make any money, but they are making money. It's just their accounting is a mess.
I couldn't agree more. This is Jessie, another accountant, CPA on the phone, and I couldn't agree more with what you guys are saying. It is so frustrating, I think, with planning and all levels. I think it's in your personal day to day. People just don't plan. They don't do financial planning. They don't do what they think they do financial planning. They don't do tax planning. They definitely don't do their books, and if they do, they have a bookkeeper, right? And you're making $1 million. I'm sorry, 1 million in sales, and you have just a bookkeeper as opposed to a CFO, or someone who could give you a big picture, an analysis of what your books is saying. And when you tell them that, hey, to do this for you is going to cost you X amount of dollars, there's like, I'm not going to pay $3,000 a month for bookkeeping. And and it's kind of like they just don't get it. And I think for me, other than running my own firm and being a CPA, is that I'm not so much an accountant. I'm more into sales, because I have to really talk to their pain. Because right now I'm doing this guy's tax returns, and for me as an accountant, we're not engaged to do your books. We're engaged to do your tax returns, right? So I expect you, as a respectful business owner, to have your books in order. So I was like, can I have a P&L, your balance sheet, and let me get the details as well. And everyone doesn't know what the heck I'm talking about. So who does your books? Oh, we have a bookkeeper. Well, and then it starts from there. And I, I say, hey, we got to do this, and I make them feel the pain. Like I do it on purpose almost. And then after tax season or before, we get ready to, wrap things up, I make sure I have a call with them and make sure I remind them of the painfulness of this tax season just passed, all because you have a bookkeeper but couldn't even close your books at a reasonable time. Like, what are they doing every month? You need to have stuff that tells you what's going on. How do you make decisions in business? Like, it's very baffling to me. And I kind of turn that frustration into my selling point, and I'm literally having fun with it. I think I am normalizing just having fun in tax season, because this is when people are actually listening to us and paying attention to us. If I don't make them feel the pain now, they are off having a good time for the summer with their kids. They're not worried of thinking about taxes or their books, anything like that. So I speak to them while the pain is fresh in their heads, and just, try to do some planning, or, and I sell it back to them like, look, whether you do it with me or someone else, you got to do a better planning and of your books, your life in general, so that's my 2 cents. And this is one of
Hey,
the reasons why too, I'm sorry. This is one of the reasons why I like coaching, because everyone is an entrepreneur, right? But they forget about all the different hats in their firm until they can hire or outsource someone. So it's good to coach people and say, hey, as a business owner, these are things that you should be paying attention to. And I'm done.
hey guys, can I jump in real quick? It's
Sure.
Yeah.
It's Jeff
Go
Norskog,
for it.
the on the block, the new director of publishing. I showed up a little late, but I was able to hear most of the introductions, and I don't want to stop the momentum of the flow here, but I wanted to introduce myself, say how excited I am to work with all of you. I came from the business world, about 8 years at a startup. We can talk, take a deeper dive on our background individually, but I started consulting with Adam and Chirag about 6 months ago, and I absolutely fell in love with the publishing company. And yeah, it's my responsibility today. It's so inspiring to talk to authors and wannabe authors on a daily basis. I feel like invigorated again. I feel like I'm learning new stuff again. It's exciting, and I think coming out of the pandemic, the ability to do more and lean more into the engagement and the community and figure out how we can all help each other, amplify each other's stories is going to be really exciting. So I'll be reaching out to everyone individually, but I just wanted to say hi and thank you guys all for your stories. I've read I read the most recent book, and it was entertaining, informative, and fun at the same time. So congratulations, and thanks to Chirag and Adam for giving me the opportunity. These guys are, for those of you who haven't met them in person, we were all together. We're all here in Los Angeles. They are an entrepreneur's entrepreneur, and they're like the real deal. So I'm excited to be part of the team.
Demetra, I want to kind of get you involved in this side from the talent side of things. I know we had the
Am I being too
CPAs going.
quiet? Am
We
I
no
being too
no
quiet?
we had the CPAs and all the numbers, and I was sitting there and I was texting Chirag, and I'm like, all right, we got our stuff together now, guys. We didn't start out with the stuff together, but I'm over here like, okay, you guys just described us like year one. Okay, fine. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Jose. Everybody described year one. Gosh, okay, we have the outsourced CFO and these, so now switching topics to make sure we want to get you involved
We're all
over
going home to
here.
work on our books.
I know
We're all running home to
everybody's
work on
going
our
home
books.
now. We're
Way to
all
go.
thoroughly
My books
scared
are a
you
mess.
accomplished it. Any entrepreneur that came in, they're like, wait a minute, we're not
What's
sticking
going
around
on?
here. We're all feeling guilty now.
But look,
And
look,
you
I
As you
will.
should. And you
should.
should.
You
Yeah.
should feel
I
guilty.
agree.
You should feel
You did your
ashamed,
job. I'm
Adam.
saying now we're fine, but I agree. Thank you. But you
You're
took
gonna
me
get
back
no
a couple of
sympathy from
years,
the
so thank
bankers and
you.
the accountants. There's zero sympathy from
No.
both of us.
And
Absolutely.
that's why I'm trying to pull Demetra back. I'm like, hey, so what's going on the talent side?
I'll jump on that
That would
though.
be.
I think it's super. I think the talent industry has been
Yeah, it's
incredibly
booming, isn't it?
curious and interesting over the last, right through the pandemic, or the last 3 years. I mean, companies literally struggling to fill jobs, and then we have the tech boom in Florida, in Miami. Well, Miami, I don't know if Miami's Florida, but Miami, and so it's pretty wild. So I'm curious to hear from you, Dimitra.
Well, if you guys want to hear the real
I
deal
want the real
of what the
deal.
hell is going on, it's freaking mayhem. I don't know if I can swear on this thing. So, yeah, I mean, I've been in executive recruitment for finance and accounting my entire recruiting career. It's been 10 years now. You know, when I first started, we were cold calling a lot, you know, leaving a lot of voicemails, no one's answering. We were printing resumes off of Career Builder, and people had those Rolodex things on their desks where they would like call their network. And obviously times have completely changed. But yeah, the market is actually completely mayhem. I'm in Chicago. I've always pretty much recruited for the entire Chicagoland area. My client base is Fortune 100, Fortune 500, all the way down to hottest startups, pre-IPO, post-IPO, you name it, I work on it. I feel like I knew everyone in Chicago in tax, audit, SEC reporting, corporate accounting, FP&A, M&A. Those are kind of the breadths that I work on. And now that it's gone to a national scale, you know, I'm only one person. But again, to note my chapter in the book, when you do the right thing at the right time for the right reasons, you know, things just fall into place. In regards to your guys' point about the market and the talent pool, yeah, like something has happened. So probably last year, everyone played musical chairs, whether you like it or not. Companies, you know, couldn't retain their top talent. Let's say employees from company A were being pulled into this 100% remote, really cool opportunity. You don't have to go into the office ever. Well, people left company A to go to company B. Company A's positions were all completely open. They lost entire accounting teams, 5, 10 people, like at a time. So that caused, you know, this revolving door and kind of this hamster wheel of hiring. So it's been rough. It's definitely been rough for even some Fortune companies to retain their top talent. They've had to really adjust to be the next cool, fun thing with all the bells and whistles. But I also have another theory. I think that we did not breed enough accountants about 5 years ago. So someone needs to go into the colleges and ask how many people
Demi-
graduated with an accounting degree, because I can guarantee you they must have slashed in half or something. I don't know.
Demetra, you know what? I would speak to that because it started with enrollment, I think, going down because I was looking into being an adjunct professor because, you know, I just love to teach. And I was speaking to, you know, someone in the school I went to, and it's like enrollment is down. And I was looking into it because I feel that the future, the roles for a typical CPA goes something like you go to school, you pass the CPA exam, you go to public accounting. If
Yeah.
you stay there and make partner, you have two options. You stay and make partner, or you retire and do consulting, you own your own firm, which is very rare, and you just die. That's the options you have. Either you public accounting or you kind of like go into teaching or consulting or something boring. And people are saying like, why do I want to go to public accounting? Why would I want to do all this to go and work, you know, all these hours for what? To come out and make 70, 80K my first year and I have all these loans is kind of somewhat not worth it when, you know, it is proven that you don't need a college degree to succeed in life. So I think kids or younger adults are realizing that screw that. I don't need to do this. I could do it another way, or I could wait. You know, a degree is always there. Like I have the rest of my life to figure it out. And I think they're rethinking the way how we were programmed to think. Like go to school, get a good job, marry, have kids, and die. Like you know, we are
Right.
seeing different trends, and they're saying screw all the professions that used to be glorified, which we realize is BS because doctors coming out don't make money. Lawyers coming out don't make money. No one makes money their first year unless they're going to a really top law firm and maybe you're making I don't know, maybe 200-300K, and but the odds are slim, and it's very competitive when I could just go and enjoy my life and travel. And let's just talk about the trust fund kids, or the parents can afford to have their kids send them out and just enjoy your life and figure it out later. So I think it's really starting there.
Yeah. Well, I will say yes, of course, right? We're told to do it a certain way. And yeah, I mean we are all a product of what I'm about to say, which is we know damn well we can make way more money when we're an entrepreneur. So, I think also too the last few years, the tech vibes, all these new startups, I think it's also, I mean, we are all again an example of that, of whether we did it now or pre-pandemic 10, 20 years ago, we've also lost talent to entrepreneurship as well. So I don't know. I don't know where these people are. I mean, again, it's a great time to be in the recruiting industry. For me, it's less about that. Obviously, it's great that I'm an entrepreneur and this time has hit. I'm sure there will be more dips and falls, and for me, it's just I just love what I do and I'm just lucky to do it. And I think entrepreneurship is the shit. So,
Well, I can tell you where they all went. So this is a perfect time for me to rope in Arnold. They all went to Inventor U. I mean, there's people out there providing other opportunities and other ways to launch ideas and just products and entrepreneurship. And so Arnold, I got to rope you in over here. Come on.
what a great
Like,
But
segue, Adam.
come on, I might do this for a living. Because come on, Arnold, this is exactly the type of things you're talking to at times. Like there's professionals, there's people from all walks of life that have ideas that want to get them launched and don't necessarily always know how. Like, so what are you seeing?
well, and I think to make the conversation even funnier, I started out as a CPA
Oh,
or
come on, I can't write that one. Come on,
really.
I didn't know
Damn.
that about you. What are you? Oh, wait a minute. Excuse me. Chirag planned this all. Thank you, Chirag. That was perfect.
Arnold, are you open to new
CPAs.
opportunities?
Yeah, I don't know. It is kind of funny, but I started out as in my career as an accountant, CPA type, and it just I found out it was more entrepreneurial and more creative, and that's things that I enjoyed. So it wasn't really money related, but you just kind of evolve. But it seems like right now in a lot of careers, I'm in a manufacturing environment, and it's getting harder and harder to find production people or salespeople or lots of different things. So we as society just had to continue to be creative and try to figure out how to find the right people in the right positions or do more for less. But that's one thing, that I found that I enjoy is trying to help people, find that entrepreneurial side or invention side and reinventing parts of their life and do things that they enjoy. So yeah, it's a challenge recruiting in general.
Well, I'll jump in as the old dog in the room too. In the last 2 years, about 2.5 million people retired that nobody expected to retire. And that's been an interesting phenomenon. You get about a 2.5 million drain right out of the expertise in industries everywhere without people coming back in to backfill that. And, it's kind of an interesting phenomena out of COVID. People just said, gee, I don't know if I'm going to live through this. So I think I'll retire. And I'm not retired. I'm actually spending a lot more time today than I ever have, but for a lot less money. And I think that's a big factor that's affecting the industry right now is we're not ready to backfill those positions.
I don't think I understand why the market people who are hiring, why they're so surprised. I mean, it's kind of like doing an exit interview with a disgruntled person who's leaving. Because I remember when I left my job, I wasn't upset or disgruntled or anything. I've always shared my views very openly and been very honest with how I felt things were going. But yet, when the exit interview came out, I said to them, no, today's my last day. I'm not doing an exit interview. You could refer back to the other grievances and things I've said, if you want to know why I'm leaving, right? So it's kind of like they'd never listen, and they're surprised why people don't want to come back to work, because I think what COVID did is give us time to think as people and realize that we don't deserve to be working in an environment that is not healthy, that is not making us happy, that we're not happy to go to work for. And we're realizing that, well, I guess I don't need to make, six figures to maintain my life. Like, I'm just happy being at home with the TV, and COVID kind of proved that I could probably have a good time as long as I have a little backyard. I could talk, get to know my neighbors. And, it's fine. I don't need to have certain subscriptions to this, that, and the other. We could live very comfortably with less. And I think I just don't understand the surprise of people when they see there isn't, or just business owners who are losing people. And I think I'm kind of like happy in a sense that this has happened, because it is shaking up people and realizing that things need to change. And even like with companies who are looking to hire remotely, well, if you're losing people, well, then maybe you need to get creative in how you hire others. And just because the minute you stop learning about your market is when you stop making money. So I think people just got comfortable with how things was, and they just never give it a thought, and just was going on about their lives, and never study the market and how things could possibly be. And I think that's what is killing a lot of us.
Jesse, I think in the beginning when you were saying like, oh, all the hours, I'm assuming you're talking, were you in public before? I'm assuming you were talking
I'm
about
talking
that. Like,
I'm talking in
oh yeah,
general. There's, yeah, I mean,
yeah.
obviously I had crazy hours, but I mean,
I don't think
in any
companies are
industry.
surprised though, to be honest. Like, I just think last year, especially, and because of the pandemic, let's say in 2020, a lot of companies slash, or if we're talking specifically finance and accounting, because that's literally the only thing I know how to talk about, companies cut a lot of their corporate finance, FP&A roles, because they were saying, okay, we can save cash here. We don't necessarily need to look forward. We just need to know what we're doing today.
Mm-hmm.
So we kept our
Yeah.
technical accountants in place. Then 2021, what was after that? Yeah, 21 happened. Everyone started playing musical chairs. Companies were more proactive. They were still pretty much remote. They had a much, I would say, more positive outlook on the market and how things were going. And it still is that. But because they were looking to fill positions, everything changed in the candidates' behavior. At some point, too, in the beginning, candidates were not willing to leave. They were not looking to leave. They thought, hey, I'm good here. I didn't get fired in 2020. I'm staying. So company B had to buy them, right? You're going to
Mm-hmm.
say, oh, no, but we're cooler. We're bigger. We're faster. We're better. You have we have free snacks, unlimited snacks and drinks in our office. We got the gym here. We're going to pay you $15,000 more for doing the exact same job over there because we value you more. So I just think from just like us, right? If we needed people for our company, like we would do what we needed to do to get those people on hand, like on. So every company is feeling this pain. And to your point, maybe people are still like out traveling and doing their thing and living their best life while we're out here. And so I don't know. I don't know if it's something that's
There's a
necessarily
lot of
wrong.
factors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's just a domino effect. The less accommodating companies, the less, in a candidate's eyes, like the company with the less bells and whistles are likely going to suffer more in retaining
Yeah.
top talent. And I think that's just the name of the game today. But that will change. Again, I've been through many waves in
Yeah.
recruiting, so this is just it for now. So Arnold, are you open to new
Okay,
opportunities?
Dimitra, what are you saying with this going back to the office or wanting to work from home? I think that's a big one right now. My wife
Yeah.
got recruited off of LinkedIn to be she's in one of the top auditors at a local bank here. Actually it's a global bank now. It's a City National. I think it's owned by Royal Business Bank of Canada now. And in
Okay.
her contract, they said to her, the headhunter was like, well, "What do you want?" And she's like, "I want X salary, and I never wanted to set foot in an office, and I want that written in my contract." They gave it to her.
Yeah.
She doesn't have to go back to the work. And I just heard from a friend of mine. I sit on the board with him at I think he's at Bank of the West. They just had he said like 15 loan processors get up and leave to go work for the competition because they didn't get asked to go back to the office. What are
Correct.
your perspectives on that?
Yeah. So I say it's a mixture right now. There are companies today who are fully remote. 100% remote. You can sit anywhere in the US, some are even global. So those will never really have an issue retaining top talent. The next tier after that would be the ones who were remote and now going back to this hybrid model. Hybrid can be translated in different ways. Some say come and go as you please. So there's no set requirement. Others say 1 to 3 days a week. You know, our team's going to come in every Monday or Tuesday through Thursday. So, and then, to our disbelief, there are companies that are going back in 5 days a week. No offense to anyone here. If you are in 5 days a week, it's totally okay. It's just more difficult to retain or to recruit the talent. So that's kind of been like the different tier of what companies are offering nowadays. I don't know
Is
what
there
the
a
hell is going to happen.
generational component to that, Dimitra?
No, no. There are some of the what I thought were some of the most old school Fortune 100 companies that I never thought would get up off their asses, and they are fully remote today, which is wild to me. Then you have some of the coolest tech vibe. Those that were real estate focused, there's a bunch of real estate companies in Chicago that are requiring their staff to be in 4 to 5 days because CEOs have gotten up and said, well, this is our product. If we don't sit in it, nobody will. So I thought initially, Jose, that like the old school companies would go back to 5 days and you either put up or shut up or get out. But surprisingly, I think it's just, I don't think it's a generational thing at all.
I know for our perspective, it's not generational, but it kind of like your point earlier, it really depends on the industry you're in. So we're in manufacturing, so
Yeah, you can manufacture out of your house.
not really. I mean,
Yeah.
powder coat, laser cut, so, and then on the flip side, I mean, it is like Jessie kind of alluded to, I mean, it is a complex issue. I mean, so what's happening is we have in our state, our unemployment insurance now is bankrupt. And so they're going to add admin fees onto the manufacturers to pay for unemployment insurance that really wasn't our choice. And for me personally, we worked right through the pandemic and never laid anybody off. They all came to work and we didn't have any issues. So I think everybody's
That's
situation is different.
awesome.
But unfortunately, now we're looking at a huge admin fee to reinstate unemployment insurance for the state of Minnesota, which isn't fair. And you're going to see a lot of manufacturers leaving the state of Minnesota. So it's a complex world that we're living in.
Yeah, that's rough. But I mean, kudos to you for hanging on and, keeping on, right? I feel like some people may feel like because it's so difficult that they would give up on their dreams, but like we can't, right? As entrepreneurs, like we can't do that because then there's
Right.
no hope for the next generation of entrepreneurs.
Yeah,
And there
100.
would be no Mission Matters books on top of it.
It always comes full circle.
I mean, we need books. I mean, let's be real here.
Exactly.
Well, and I think we all need something creative and positive to focus on. Otherwise, it gets challenging to get out of bed every morning.
And speaking of that, so Chirag and Jeff, I don't know if we've done this, but if we haven't, we should. Maybe we have, and maybe I just didn't catch the email chain, but we should we should send out an invite to all of the other authors that have been in the previous books to support, the launch. Even if everybody's not live, they can at least attend if they have time, and they can be in the comment section and things like that, because to me, like hearing this dialogue and hearing everybody connect, like to me this is really meaningful, and this is what it's really all about, is everybody getting to know each other. I know some of the people that have been on this particular venue at Clubhouse, which I think is great. It's, you get to know each other over time, and no matter backgrounds, industry or otherwise, this is the community. So it's awesome to see this happen.
Yep, we'll definitely inform all of our authors in the network as well.
And I just want to say, I spend my days talking with drug addicts and people who are struggling through some crazy situations in life. And I am absolutely enjoying, I spent most of my life in business working through corporate America. And I absolutely am enjoying all this conversation and just listening in and going, people who are on the top. It's a joy just to hear all the conversation going back and forth and put it in my head and think about it. So don't ever hesitate to jump into one of these.
Yeah, thanks guys for introducing me to Clubhouse. I've only been on this platform since last week when we did the other panel, and I've already gotten a lot of free education from popping into other rooms. So I honestly I thought this thing was dead, but it might be the TikTok of podcasting.
Wait, Jose, who tell you this is dead? You acting like you're like a dinosaur. This has been popping. It always has been popping. Yeah, Jose. But welcome.
Well, I'm with Jose. I didn't even know like what Clubhouse was. So
So
thanks,
I
guys, for
think that the
letting me know.
branding
I'm too
around it,
busy.
Jesse, was what the issue, right? I think actually Chirag did tell me about this like maybe years ago, but the thing before it was kind of like an invitation and you had to come in, and I just don't think it took off as it's doing now. I think now it's just kind of on
Mm-mm.
fire. That's what I mean by the TikTok of it. Like TikTok's been around for a long time, but it's only in the last year and a half that it's been fired now, and it's got no stopping. So it seems to me, but limited experience, of course.
My
You
mom's on
gotta.
TikTok, and that's our sign. Now, once my mom was on, she's the trendsetter around here.
That's
Just
the
so you guys
sign.
know, they're like, no. So I was like, that's my sign. Chirag's been bugging us about TikTok content. We literally just figured it out like last week, and we'll be doing some. I'll be shooting some, original content, and then adding that to interviews and some other things. And they, the creative team, they figured out how they want to position us, and I'm like. Yep, my mom's on there. I guess we really have to get on there now. That's a sign.
The
Chirag was
numbers the
right. That's a
numbers on
sign.
TikTok for 2021 are astronomical. Astronomical. The amount of revenue he generated, not for the company, for the content providers, and the amount of information people search for within TikTok. It was blowing me away.
What? You guys, should I TikTok job opportunities?
Hey, you know what?
Yeah.
A
Absolutely.
thousand
Yeah.
percent yes.
Absolutely.
I need to hire
Yes,
someone to do
absolutely.
that. I don't even know what the damn thing is or how it works.
You guys need to have kids in your life, like high school kids or something, because this. I mean, I barely even get dressed without sending my nephew a picture just to make sure it's kid approved. We have to make sure that we're cool adults. So that's why we attract the younger generation. But I think in recruiting, I remember not thinking much of recruiters. Like, look, they always calling me when I'm in the middle of work, trying to get me to look at new opportunities. How can I talk to you in the middle of the day? I'm working. Like, this makes no sense.
Yes,
And it's
yes.
no personality, nothing. It's just it would be nice to have a recruiter who is just a little bit different from the grain. So I think that might be something you might want to do. If there's none of your peers is on TikTok, go for it.
Speaking of
Oh,
whose job it is to get us on TikTok, look who just showed up. Hi, Matt.
Oh,
I
I
would just
knew you were
that
gonna
was
bring
great
me into
timing.
this.
I'm sorry. We were having this
yeah.
discussion at production meeting about my mom being on TikTok, and
I
Matt
heard
and
that
Chirag
part.
needed to figure it out. So,
I
hi,
got really
Matt.
excited when
Please
I started
introduce.
hearing you talk about on here about your mom being on TikTok.
Maybe quick
Beautiful.
introduction, Matt, for everyone that doesn't know you yet.
Sure thing. So, hi everybody. I'm Matt Cook. I am the director of our agency. So I handle all of our really the content creation amongst the team and handling all of our podcast agency clients to where we launch new podcast shows for clients. And then in addition to that, also make sure that everything runs smoothly within the agency. So that's a little bit of my introduction as far as who I am within Mission Matters. And that's why when start talking about TikTok and some of the social media stuff that we have going on, it's been certainly a hot topic with us and really kind of figuring out what type of content will actually make sense to be on there in addition to obviously utilizing things that we've already started creating around content and being able to repurpose some of that and just kind of fitting that into the feel of TikTok because each social media platform certainly has its own kind of personality to it to where people like to consume content that is made specifically for that given platform. Really, the only thing that really ties in together anymore is Instagram Reels and TikTok, which ultimately end up being pretty much the same. And you see a lot of conversion between the two of those within those platforms. So that's kind of my 2 cents on it. Happy to open it up further
Adam, if or Chirag, whoever wants to kind of jump in.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We actually just had another fellow co-author join us, Jason Shupp. He just recently is joining one of our books as well. Jason, what we have everyone doing is just sharing a little bit about their background, who they are, maybe just a little bit about where you're from, some background on your business, and maybe your content, the chapter that you're going to write in the upcoming.
Yeah. Can everyone hear me okay? This is actually my first time on Clubhouse.
Can hear you loud and clear.
Perfect. My name is Jason Shupp. I am the owner of a third-generation construction company that focuses mostly on roofing and home exterior services. And I'm based here in St. Louis, Missouri. Spent a good portion of my life here, but a fair amount out west. And when I had a much more eclectic career in my 20s. And a lot of my efforts right now, on top of continuing to sustain and grow a legacy business, is the philanthropic endeavors that I've been highly involved with over the last several years. My content on my chapter focuses mainly on the concept of stewardship and how that can apply to different parts of our lives. And that was really carved out of what has been my journey through the family business transition and various things that have transpired as I settled into the third generation with my brother, and the pitfalls of those experiences, and just how that shaped me as a person, a business owner, a father, and a human, and how I now look at how you really can take care of others in a lot of different ways, just from how I've been shaped through that whole journey. I think that answered hopefully most of the questions that you posed out there.
You did indeed. Yep. And then this has just kind of been an open forum dialogue. So a lot of our fellow co-authors have just been getting to know one another, and essentially just we're trying to build upon the community. And so we're going to be doing a lot more marketing PR, but really when it boils it down, I mean, it's you guys, our authors and our podcasters, and it's really about giving you guys more opportunities to connect with one another, create business with one another, and more friendships, right? I think that's really what this is about. So, yep, we'll let, I guess, if anyone has any other questions or anything, anyone wants to get to know a little bit better, I think, why don't we use this as like our one last chance? Usually we keep these to about like an hour, maybe a little bit, so, it doesn't take up everyone's day entirely. And that's part of the reason why we do this. We try to keep these pretty frequent, so that you guys can jump back on and get to know one another. And of course, the goal is for you guys to connect offline. So what we'll do is this conversation more or less is being recorded, and we'll basically share it across all of our social channels and our website. And when that goes live, we'll just introduce you guys via email. We'll let you guys, connect with one another as you guys want to. So I guess any final pieces from anyone or anything that anyone wants to know?
My final words are, hey, everybody's going to be getting emails for if you're in the next book, then you'll be getting an email to make sure that you reserve a time to talk about it and to join the festivities on the book release. Jeff and Chirag putting in a ton of work on organizing this. I know they picked multiple dates intentionally so that, authors could choose one. So make sure you make sure you engage with Chirag and Jeff. If you haven't signed up yet, if you were an author in a previous book, definitely try to make it to one of these, like support your fellow authors in the comments section and try to make yourself available. It'd be awesome. And then these clubhouse events, I mean, these are fun and they're a great way to just continue. They're easy because you don't have to turn on video. It's just really simple. You're on your phone. So I just encourage everybody to, if you see a topic that you like or want to participate on, or if you just want to even listen in the background, definitely attend these, because we're going to be bringing on more and more authors, more and more content and opportunities for everyone to connect and to build a community, so that we all are, keep on fighting the fight as entrepreneurs, executives, and everything else we're doing out there. So appreciate everybody for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, indeed. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Dad. That was great.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. Until next one.